North of the Yangtze River and south of the Han River lies a majestic, mysterious mountain range with deep valley and sparkling streams shrouded in mist. While being well known as the birthplace of the Chinese ancestor Yandi, this exceptional site is also the rarest primary forest ecosystem at this latitude in the world. Its varied landforms and habitats create a unique ecological system. This is an unsurpassed and wonderful biological paradise in the North Subtropics. Hubei神农架. The nominated property, Hubei神农架, is located in western Hubei province. Its total area comprises 67,087 hectares, with a further buffer zone of 39,775 hectares. About 1.9 billion years ago, Hubei神农架was covered by the ocean. Then, 1.4 billion years ago, it began to gradually uplift until around 800 million years ago, the area started to emerge as dry land. Further uplift around 200 million years ago created towering mountains that rose ever higher through the Quaternary era. Today, elevations range from just 420 meters in the deepest gorges, right up to 3,106.2 meters at Shenong Peak, the highest mountain in central China. The unique geographic location and varied topographies and landforms in the nominated property sustains an extremely biodiverse biome. Significantly, numerous endangered and protected species and entire intact genera and families are endemic to Shenong than to any other region of central China. The Hubei snub-nosed monkey subspecies is one of the most renowned and charismatic examples of the unique fauna endemic to the nominated property. Hubei Shenong marks the eastern edge of the golden snub-nosed monkey's distribution. Long-term geographic isolation in these ancient and mysterious mountains has driven the parapatric evolution of this distinctive genetic subspecies, which now depends upon the site's unique and special conditions for its survival. The Chinese giant salamander, the largest and most critically endangered amphibian in the world, can reach up to 1.8 meters in length and has persisted for more than 300 million years. It is of critical importance for understanding of animal evolution. The Chinese serow, also known as neither fish nor fowl, is emblematic of subtropical mountain fauna in Eastern Asia and an important member of the herbivorous guild. The Wushan salamander is another endemic Chinese ancient species. It was one of the first tailed amphibians. Once a common amphibian endemic to China, numbers of spiny-bellied frogs are in decline due to habitat loss and overexploitation for human consumption. Consequently, its stronghold is the undisturbed rocky streams of Shenong is of ever greater importance. Today, a total of 609 vertebrate species have been recorded in Shenong. There are also more than 4,328 insect species. Amongst these species, Shenong is one of the few remaining strongholds for 284 endemic insects and 96 Chinese endemic vertebrate animals, including the golden pheasant, the striped racer, the big-eye rat snake, and the Chinese toad, and so on. Shenongjia is thus critical for the conservation of 158 rare and endangered wild animal species, including 48 endangered animal species scheduled on the IUCN Red List 2014 and 73 species under a global trading ban imposed by the CITES 2014 Appendix. The nominated property includes 3,644 species of higher plants, 229 of which are rare and endangered, amounting to 63% of the total number of plant species present. Furthermore, the nominated property is also home of 205 endemic plant species. That the nominated property is one of 3 distribution centers for endemic plant groups in China, including 1,719 plant species unique to China, belonging to 577 genera. Shenongjia is thus pivotal to Chinese phytogeography and of global significance for plant diversity. The Cavalier Euricorimbus is a relic plant of the Tertiary era. It is a monotypic genus in the family Sapindaceae and found only in China. Vaitianus sausurea grows in subalpine meadow at about 2,800 meters. It is common endemic plant in Shenongjia. In addition, Zhengia and Repenticalia, both discovered only recently, are representative endemic genera in the nominated property. The intricate landforms, combined with huge variation in elevation, as well as varied seasonal climate, provided an essential refuge, allowing ancient species to escape the extinction events associated with quaternary glaciations. The dove tree, distinctive from its beautiful flowers, can grow up to 25 meters tall. It is a relic species that has survived from 70 million years ago, a living fossil of the plant kingdom. The tetracentron has a very useful feature among angiosperms. It lacks vessel elements in its wood. Tetracentron is thus of significant value in the study of floristic evolution, as well as origins and systematic classifications of the angiosperms. Amazingly, within Hubei Shenongjia, 66% of vascular plants families, equating to 56% of the total genera present, first appeared in the early Tertiary period and have perpetuated in this site ever since. More amazing, perhaps, is that genera of ferns still thriving in Shenongjia, such as the forking fern, is survivors from the early Mesozoic age, while the climbing fern and tree genera such as pine, walnut, and elm are originated in the Jurassic Age. Cretaceous genera include yew, beech, trees as well as magnolia with its stunning flowers. This wealth of ancient, relic plants demonstrate not just the botanical importance of Shenongjia, but also the amazing contribution it can make to our understanding of evolutionary processes. The vastness of the Chinese mainland encompasses the richest biodiversity and distribution of temperate genera plants in the world. The nominated property supports 588 temperate plant genera, accounting for over 50% of those extant in China today. It is one of the most significant regions for the differentiation, development, and evolution of temperate flora assemblages, due to its excellent preservation conditions, leading to unsurpassed ecological diversity and functionality. The nominated property is an exemplary representative of Southwest China temperate forests, Global 200 Ecoregion 70. The nominated property is the principal distribution area of the Fagus genera, including 4 of the 5 beech species that occur in China. The dominant deciduous broad-leaved forest is composed from the bountiful angler beech, the Taiwan beech, the sharp-toothed oak, the Seguin chestnut, and many other deciduous trees. Overall, with 838 species belonging to 245 genera and 77 families, The nominated property exhibits the richest deciduous woody species biodiversity in the world. The area's unique geographical location and the marvelously varied topography associated with the site's tremendous variation in elevation all contribute to shape dramatic vertical climatic zonation. These unique climatic zones lead to an incredibly rare, complex, and globally precious ecosystem and vertical vegetation zonation, comprised by distinctive faunal and floral assemblages at the Oriental Deciduous Forest Biogeographical Province. Conserving the special primary forest ecosystem is not just critical for the northern subtropics, but for global biodiversity. The nominated property was not thoroughly glaciated during the Quaternary Alpine or warm Ice Age, and even today is not affected by the Sibero-Mongolian continental anticyclone and associated cold currents. The nominated property preserved the typical and intact altitudinal natural zones from the low elevation to the high elevation, including evergreen broad-leaved forests, mixed evergreen and deciduous broad-leaved forests, deciduous broad-leaved forests, mixed coniferous and broad-leaved forests, coniferous forests, and subalpine shrub and meadow communities. The nominated property lies at the intersection of temperate and subtropical climatic zones in eastern China. It thus provides an indispensable link between associated floristic and faunal communities. The vegetation in the nominated property exhibits the evolutionary succession from tropical subtropical forest to northern subtropical evergreen and deciduous broad-leaved mixed forest. This contributes to an unbroken progression from coniferous forests in cold temperate zones to rainforest and monsoonal forests in tropical zones in eastern China. The nominated property is archetypal of evergreen and deciduous broad-leaved mixed forests in the northern hemisphere and exhibit the developmental and evolutionary process of flora in the Oriental Deciduous Forests Biogeographical Province. The outstanding universal values of the nominated property as an ecological treasure and as an unparalleled site for scientific research have attracted the attention and interest of global naturalists. In the late 18th century, France, Russia, the United States, Britain, Germany, Sweden, Japan, among other nations, organized numerous expeditions to conduct scientific research in the nominated property of Shenongjia. Among these, an English naturalist named Ernest H. Wilson visited Shenongjia 7 times. He discovered a rare monotypic genus of flowering plant in the family Rubiaceae, describing this as the most beautiful tree in the forests of China. These researches have had an enormous impact on international botany. It has been preeminent for inspiring and instructing global naturalists and crucial for elucidating understanding of the Chinese flora. Many famous naturalists, including Wilson, named a total of 518 plants and 320 insect species at Shenongjia. Moreover, many of these Chinese plants were introduced to the West and have become popular and familiar garden plant cultivars. Shenongjia is thus also pioneer of international horticulture. Subsequently, many scientific research institutes have been established in the nominated property of Shenongjia, such as the National Field Research Station for Forest Ecosystem of Shenongjia and the Hubei Provincial Key Laboratory for Biodiversity, the first research center to study the golden monkey. The nominated property has made an enormous contribution to the development of botanical, ecological, and horticultural science, and continues to have outstanding universal value as a site for the study of mountain ecosystems, zonation along elevation gradients, and global climate change. The nominated property of Hubei Shenongjia is owned by the state and has legal protective designations at local, national, and world levels. The area is listed as a World Geopark member and as a UNESCO MAB and National Nature Reserve. Due to long-term and persistent efforts, the nominated property has established 5 levels of management structure, from national government to local community. 6 administration centers and 2 conservation stations have also been established. As a series of conservation technical documents, including a comprehensive management program and the conservation regulations of Hubei Shanongjia Natural Heritage, were compiled, ratified, and promulgated, which have strengthened the legal conservation of the outstanding universal value of the nominated property. In Shanongjia, this application for World Natural Heritage has huge popular support from the local community and all stakeholders. The nominated property not only has the greatest biodiversity at this latitude in the world, but also preserves rare and unique ecological communities stratified across a complete mountain elevation zonation system, unparalleled anywhere in the Oriental Deciduous Forest biogeographical province. Together, these features create a special and immensely valuable biological community with complex interdependencies and functional interconnectivity. It is imperative to protect and conserve this special site for future generations and for its intrinsic value to the global biosphere.